Hey kids, welcome back to IAM Kids Online. We're so excited you decided to join us again. We just had an amazing week this past week celebrating Easter Sunday that Jesus is alive. But we're going to get back into our sermon series that we have been on battlefields. So I have a question. Have you ever had something to do or even wanted to do, but you just needed a little help, maybe a little coaching, maybe a little pep talk into doing it? You needed someone to help you out, convince you to do it. Maybe it was your first time jumping off the high dive or a diving board into a pool, and maybe you were scared to do it, and your family and friends maybe were standing at the side of the pool saying, "You can do it, you can do it." And then you jump in and you realize it was really great. And you realize you were brave enough to do it, and you tried it. You just jumped. Have you ever needed a pep talk in order to get the nerve to do something? Well, here's the thing. Sometimes we need a good, strong pep talk in order to really believe in ourselves and what God has called us to do. So we're going to be talking about the day today, but first, let's take a look at our introduction video.
Man, I can't hit a target for anything.
It's all right, man. Just concentrate.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you might want to open your eyes.
Oh, right.
It's time.
Not for me, it's not.
What are you talking about?
I clearly don't have what it takes for this fight today. These girls keep beating us. I can't even hit a target today. I'm just not ready.
Oh, I see what's going on here.
What?
You need a pep talk.
What? No, I don't.
You need a visit from your old pal.
No, not him.
Oh yeah, it's time for Motivating Mikey, the pep talk poet.
Dude, stop. This is embarrassing.
Oh, come on, man. You used to love it when I did this when we were kids. I'm gonna give you a pep talk you'll never forget.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Listen, some of the biggest leaders in the Bible got a pep talk. Even Joshua, when he took over for Moses, God gave him a big-time encouraging pep talk.
Okay, but make it quick.
Yo, Gam Gam, drop the beat. Yo, Mason, it's time to get motivated. Hey, bro, why the long face? Don't you know you're the coolest dude in all of outer space? Think you can't hit that target with that loaded Nerf gun? Bet you didn't know. Everybody thinks you're cool, son. You can do anything when God is on your side. With His power, you can win every single time. Word.
Okay, man. That was epic.
You liked it? You feeling confident now?
For sure, man. I ain't afraid of no girls. Let's get into the battle zone.
Yes! Let's do it!
We have many people in our lives who are willing to give us the pep talks we need. All of us need encouragement from time to time, and it's hard to face a battle when you have forgotten God's power and promises. Sometimes we need God or God's people to remind us who we are and what God has called us to do. We're going to learn a little bit more about that later on, but first, let's take a look at what you got to know.
What's happening, you crazy cats? It's me, Disco Dave, and I'm here to tell you what you gotta know. Today, we're talking about how God encourages us before the battle. So every time today you hear somebody ask you what you gotta know, you tell them, God will encourage me before the fight. Sometimes we just need a little pep talk before we go into the battles of life. Woo! After all that chilling, I definitely need some Pepto-Bismol for all this heartburn. Not Pepto, pep talk. God likes to encourage you or pep you up when He knows you're about to face a difficult battle. Far out, dude. So every time today you hear somebody ask you what you gotta know, you tell them, God will encourage me before the fight. All right, kids, that right there is what you gotta know. Well, I'm Disco Dave saying, Dynamite!
Today, we are going to learn about an incredible man named Joshua. You've heard of him before. Remember, he was one of the spies who went into the land and brought back a good report. He's also the guy who led the Israelite army against the city of Jericho. They defeated the entire city by walking around the walls and shouting for victory. Then, the walls came tumbling down. But long before that ever happened, Joshua found himself in a tough position. His leader, Moses, had died. God's people, the Israelites, had no leader. Joshua didn't know what to do, so he went out to be alone and pray. Suddenly, God appeared to Joshua. He said, "Joshua, my servant, Moses is dead." Well, I'm sure that Joshua must have been thinking, I kind of already know that, God. That's not a newsflash. But then God told Joshua that he must lead the people across the Jordan River into the land that God was giving them. Joshua was to take over from Moses. Remember, this is the same Moses who parted the Red Sea so that the Israelites could cross on dry land. This was the same Moses who hit a rock with his staff, causing water to shoot out for them to drink. This is the same Moses who God met with face to face and gave the 10 Commandments to. Joshua must have felt that there was no way he could follow this kind of leader. Many times we feel like there's no way we can do what God is calling us to do. We fear that we might fail or mess up. Joshua probably felt those same things. But God spoke to Joshua and gave him incredible comfort and encouragement in that moment. God said, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Wow, what a promise. Comforted and encouraged, Joshua left God's presence and went to speak to the commanders of the army. He said, "Get ready, we're going to cross the Jordan River." Now I'm sure these people missed Moses, but they immediately accepted Joshua as their leader. They said, "As we obeyed Moses, we will obey you." And the people of God crossed the Jordan River and conquered the city of Jericho. Today, we are going to learn about how God speaks words of encouragement and comfort to us, just as he did with Joshua. When we don't think we can face the battle, God shows up to give us the pep talk we need.
Hello there, boys and girls. It is I, Presto Changio, the greatest illusionist of all time. Nothing up my sleeve. Except for that. Anyway, boys and girls, I am here to teach you today's powder verse. Today's powder verse says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." Joshua 1:9. What a splendid power verse. Oh, it smells like Cheese Whiz. Reminds me of the old country. Get it together, Presto. All right. Now it is time for my great trick. I will make words of the power verse disappear with the help of my handy dandy assistant, Hooky.
It's Hocus!
Yeah, sure, whatever. Now it is time to make part of the power verse disappear. Watch. Ah, yes. Now which word should I make disappear? How about this one? And this one? Yes! Now, boys and girls, you shall all say the power verse with Hooky.
It's Hocus!
We talked about this. Stop mumbling. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9.
Bravo, boys and girls, bravo! Now, take a look at this. I am going to now make even more words vanish before your eyes. Like this one. And this one. Ha ha! Now, let's just see how well you kids remember it. Say it with me now on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3!
Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9.
Good job! Now for my greatest trick ever!
Best trick of all time.
You really think so?
No.
No, whatever! This is Presto Chango saying, now you see me, now you don't. Snickersnee bit my knee!
So I have a question. Does any of you like to paint? You know, sometimes throwing some splashes of paint up on a canvas or painting something on a paper, it's fun. I'm not a huge painter, but I think some of you are. But I have a question. Have you ever heard of a famous artist named Michelangelo? You know, sometimes we can remember him possibly from like the Ninja Turtles, but he was actually a real man, and he lived in the 1500s, and he painted wonderful paintings. But his greatest work ever is thought to be the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. It was an amazing thing to accomplish. It took him over 4 years to paint the entire ceiling, over 5,000 square feet. He did most of it while lying on his back on top of a huge scaffold. Now, you can imagine being a painter that had to do the next painting at the Sistine Chapel. I can imagine the guy was like, no way, how could I ever do anything that compares to what Michelangelo did? Well, you can take that and multiply that by 100, and that is probably what Joshua was feeling in today's Bible story. You see, Moses had died. God's people, the Israelites, had no leader. So the Lord spoke to Joshua and told him, now that my servant Moses is dead, you must lead my people across the Jordan River into land I am giving them. Remember, this was the same Moses who parted the Red Sea so the Israelites could cross on dry land. This was the same Moses who spoke to the rock and water came shooting out of it for them to drink. This was the same Moses who God met face to face and gave him the 10 Commandments. Joshua must have thought there was no way he could follow this amazing leader. Many times, we feel like there is no way we can do what God is calling us to do. We fear that we might fail or mess up. Joshua probably felt those same feelings. But God gave Joshua several promises that he also wants us to learn today. By trusting these promises, we can conquer our fear and become the leader that God wants us to be, even in the battle zones. We're going to compare what you say and what God says. So the first thing is, I say I'm not good enough. Joshua must have felt that he was just not good enough to be leader after Moses. But God immediately responds to this kind of thought with his first promise. God says, I will provide for you. God told Joshua in Joshua 1:3, I promise you what I promised Moses. Everywhere you go, you will be on land I have given you. God says that we don't have to worry about not being good enough. He will provide everything we need. God told Joshua that he would give him the land that he needed to possess in order to lead the children of Israel. Many times you compare yourselves to others and think, well, I'm not as good as they are, or I'm not as smart as they are, or I'm not as cool as they are. I can't do this big thing God wants me to do. God says not to worry about all of that stuff. God promises to provide you just as he provided for Joshua. Next thing that sometimes we might say, I'm not strong enough. Joshua must have thought to himself, Moses was such a strong leader. He stood up to Pharaoh and told him to let God's people go. I'm just not that strong. Many times you think the same thing. You might think, I am just a kid. I'm not as strong as other people are. But God promised Joshua the same thing that he promises you. God says, I will protect you. God promises Joshua in Joshua 1:5, no one will be able to stand their ground against you as long as you live. Wow, that is an amazing promise. What a promise from God. God says, stick with me and you can't lose. I will protect you. He tells you the same thing. He will protect you from everything that comes against you. He is stronger than anything that you will ever face. Here's another thing that we might say though. I can't do this. Joshua must have thought to himself, I can't do this, Lord, not by myself. I just am not that good of a leader. Many times you also may think this way, but God promised Joshua what he also promises you and what he promises me. And God says, I will be with you. God promised Joshua in verse 5, for I will be with you as I was with Moses. I will not fail you or abandon you. What an incredible promise from God. And that is what God promises each and every one of us. He promises to be with you no matter what. How amazing that God promises to always be with us. So when you begin to doubt whether or not you have what it takes to maybe do what that thing that God's called you to, maybe, or when you're in that battle zone, you just remember the promises that God made to Joshua from our Bible story. He will provide for you. He will protect you. And He will be with you. These are the same promises He gives to you and me. He gives those same exact promises that He's going to provide for us, protect us, and He's going to be with us. And it's amazing, no matter what's going on in our lives, no matter what kind of battle we're facing, we can believe and have the promises from God that He's going to provide for us, that He's going to protect us, and He's going to be with us. Let's go to the Lord in prayer and thank Him for those promises He's giving us. God, we thank You so much today, God, for the promises that You continue to give us. God, we cannot do it on our own. God, we can't do it by ourselves. But God, if we always remember You, God, You are bigger than anything that we will ever face. Any battle that comes our way, we can trust and believe in You, God, that You're going to protect us. You're going to provide for us, and You're never going to leave us. God, thank You for always being there for us. Jesus, we love You. We praise You. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. Well, boys and girls, thanks for tuning in. It's awesome that we can still spend this time together online. We love to see you guys. If you guys need something, please let me and Pastor Hannah know. And we love you guys, and we will see you guys later. Talk to you later, guys.